what particular technique, language technique, do you think is being used in this case? Just give you all a few seconds just to get your head around this question, and then just type the answer out for me in the chat box. Okay, some good answers coming through. Yeah. So myths, legends, and epic tales, they are all woven into the fabric of human society. So myth, legends, and epic tales using the rule of 3. Can you see this? Let me show you. So this is what we call a language technique, all right, that writers use. And this is called the rule of 3. Now, why is it called the rule of 3? Because you're using 3 keywords right next to each other, such as myths, legends, and epic tales, to get the reader's attention. All right, so it's not about just writing a book. It's about using certain language techniques that you can actually attract the reader with. And this is one technique, the rule of 3. If you didn't know this before, please write this down. This is really important. And it's the way that the writer uses this technique, language technique, to attract the reader's attention. Okay, that's good. So let's just lock that answer in, A, and move on to the next one. So this particular question says, now think about how Elizabeth Church uses language in the extract. Read this line and decide what the technique has, why the technique has been used. So let's have a look at this line. So some of us were tempted to secretly read at night. Some of us were tempted to secretly read at night. And what kind of technique do you think this would be, and why has the writer actually used this? Is it A, B, C, or D? Take a few seconds to actually read the sentences first in detail. And once you're done, then send me a message in the chat box. Okay, some good answers there, Meda and Awa and Alexandra. Well done. Elena, you as well.
Hello.
Hi, Elena.
Hello.
Oh, hi there. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. What do you think this is going to be and why?
I put D because the writer uses the word us as though she's one of the people that did secretly read at night.
Yeah, good. So I would go for D as well, because some of us suggest that the writer is part of this generation. All right, so and the verb tempted, the keyword tempted there, and adverb secretly gives reading an air of excitement as if it is something that they are doing against the rules. So I would actually go for that as well, because that's the most closest answer that we can find in this particular text for the language technique. So well done, Lena. Thank you. And how does Elizabeth Church use language? By taking this sentence into account. So have a look at this one. So, is children's literature in the traditional form dead, or at least on its last legs? What would you go for? So just have a look at the format of this particular statement. What is it? Is it a statement? Is it a question? That will kind of give you an idea. Hi, Ira.
Hi.
Hi there. What did you go for then?
B.
And why did you go for B?
Because she used personification, so that
And give me an example of personification, Ira.
like she said last legs as if the words were a person.
Yeah.
And like it has feelings and it can die.
That's good. So let's have a look at this for some of you who don't actually quite understand the meaning of personification. So first of all, we know that it's I'll give you some clues here. So we know that it's a rhetorical question. Why? Because can you see that question mark there? Again, this question, this statement, this question is actually making you think. So you've got two question marks here. So is children's literature in its traditional form dead? Or at least on its last legs? So it's asking you two rhetorical questions, including personification. And personification means when you turn something into a human entity and try to give it life, and that means personification. So is children's literature dead? So we're assuming that children's literature is alive, and now could it be dead? So we're giving it human characteristics. On the same side, we're saying, or is it on its last legs? So last legs means a human characteristic. So this means that it's personification, right? That's the meaning of personification. So what's the answer for this one, Ara? B, yeah, good. Well done. And let's have a look at this statement here. I firmly believe the book will always be one of them. And which particular statement will that refer to? Okay, so let's have a quick look. So good, in this case, this statement will refer to C. And the reason it will refer to C is because, and Ayan, thank you very much for that, you got that answer right. The adverb firmly and the word always lend confidence to the closing statement. The writer believes books are here to stay, and no matter what technological breakthrough happens. So the adverb firmly and firmly here, and the word always kind of lends confidence to this closing statement. All right, two key words here, firmly and always. So we'll go for C. And this is a new question here. So this is, we've got two questions left. Look at whole text and think about the order of the information in the text and look particularly at the beginning and the end. How has the writer structured the article to keep the reader's interest? So how has the writer structured the article to keep the reader's interest at the beginning of the story and at the end? What do you think? Which one of these will apply in this case? Give you a few more seconds to have a look at this. Some mixed answers coming in for this one. So look at the order of the information in the text and look particularly at the beginning and at the end. How does the writer structure the article to keep the reader's interest? Okay, let me go through this one. If you look at C here, the rhetorical question as the opening of the article causes the reader to reflect on their own experiences of the stories and consequently arouses their interest. There's a chatty tone and it's friendly and it's very inviting. And the writer then explains why she thinks reading has declined. So in other words, why it's not popular anymore, blaming screen-based entertainment like TV screens and computer games and so on. Whether you agree with this or not, it is an interesting argument and will provoke a reaction. Okay, so that's how she takes charge of the reader's interest at the beginning of the story and at the end as well. And now we're on the last question. So the writer of this article is optimistic about the future of children's books and believes that new technology will improve rather than ruin children's literature. Assuming you do agree with this statement, then choose the option that gives a valid reason behind it. So again, the writer of this article is optimistic. She's quite positive about the future of children's books. She thinks and believes that new technology, doesn't matter what it is, will not have an impact on children's reading. If you agree with this, what valid reason would you actually go for? If you agree with this, then what valid reason would you go for? A, B, C, or D? Hi, Sahil. Did you manage to do this one?
Yeah.
And what do you think?
I think the answer is D.
And just read out D for us.
Yes, his statement is correct because new technology has opened up new doors and created more platforms for children to learn literature.
Okay, good. Well done. That is the correct answer. And I'll give you an example of this, by the way, just in case you're not sure. So let's say, for example, a lot of people, I'll give you my example first of all. So I will read a newspaper, but it's not actually on paper, it's online. and I'll just take my tablet out or my phone and I'll read the newspaper. So I'm still reading, I'm actually reading more than I used to before. Same with children. They will probably read through ebooks or their tablets or using a parent's phone maybe, and other devices. I mean, if you look at CBBC or CBBS, I'm not sure if you watch that, you might be a little bit older, but you've got story time in there, which is very popular, and a few other programs where kids actually enjoy watching TV just because it's on TV and it's a little bit more visual and a bit more interactive. However, having said that, everybody has their personal choice. Now, in my case, since the lockdown, I've been reading more on my tablet than I actually have on printed books. And I think that's probably the case now with quite a lot of people in the past few months. Whereas before the lockdown, I was reading more paper-based books than I was actually with the electronic devices. But you have a choice. So the author's saying that she doesn't believe that children's literature is going to die because there are so many new devices where people can actually read on. And Elena says, I prefer reading paper books for some reason. I don't blame you either. It's that special interaction that you have with the book, that you actually turn the pages sometimes and maybe you can, I don't know, smell the paper sometimes as well. So it's a different experience altogether. So that's good, well done. And we've completed this task now. Good. And let's just go to the next one, which was, I think it was Alice in Wonderland. And Meda, you'll probably like this one. Okay, so we've got about 15 minutes to just review what we did for our homework. So let's go through these questions as well. So first of all, let's have a look at this. So what two quotations show that Alice was bored and tired from lines 1 to 9? Choose the correct option in this case. So what two quotations show that Alice was bored and tired from lines 1 to 9? Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, that's right. Which one would you go for, A, B, C, or T? I can move the screen up a little bit just to help you out. Just a few more seconds. Okay, so good. So a few of you have said that it's D, and D it is, because Alice was beginning to get very tired of sitting by her sister, having nothing to do, once or twice peeped into the book her sister was reading. Okay, let's look at the next one. Which three things do we learn about the white rabbit in lines 7 to 21? Which three things do we learn about the white rabbit in lines 7 to 21? Move this up a bit so you can see the options as well. Lines 7 to 21.
Hello?
Hi, Ayan.
Hi,
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Do you know this one?
I haven't put out my answer yet. I was just thinking still, but
Okay, I came in too early.
yeah.
Okay, that's fine. No worries. Let me just carry on. So with this one, it would be A, which is the rabbit had pink eyes. It was running and muttered to itself that it was late. Okay, so that's your first answer there. Now think about how Lewis Carroll uses language in the extract. So Lewis Carroll being the author. Read this line carefully, then choose why the words used are effective in creating an atmosphere of mystery and excitement. So remember these two key words, mystery and excitement, within this particular statement here, the one that I'm just highlighting for you. Alice started to her feet, for it flashed across her mind that she had never before seen a rabbit with either a waistcoat pocket or a watch to take out of it. And what's the mysterious nature of this? Is it going to be A, B, C, or D?
No?
Let's try one more time. What do you think this one is?
Oh, I thought it was D, but I don't think that's right now.
Okay, but why? Well, what do you think? Why do you think it would be D though?
Because started and flashed, like it says, it add elements to speed the story, which adds excitement. So the reader would think that is something's going to happen next. That's going to be
Yeah,
exciting.
I think you're right. I think you're right. Because if you're looking for two things like mystery and excitement, and the two words started and flashed in inverted commas, add elements of speed to the story, which adds excitement. So when a story speeds up, it's increasing in excitement. So well done.
Okay.
That's good. And the next one, think about how Lewis Carroll uses language in the extract, taking this statement into account here. Burning with curiosity, she ran across the field after it. So burning with curiosity, she ran across the field after it. Which statement is applicable in this case? Okay, well done, Alexandra and Elena. Sahil, you too, good. And Ayan, well done. Okay, so in this case, C will be the correct answer because burning gives a sense of Alice suddenly being awake and active after her sleepiness. There is an urgency to burning which adds excitement. Okay, it's all about curiosity and excitement. And let's go into question 5. Exactly the same question, but a different statement this time around. The rabbit hole then dipped suddenly down, so suddenly that Alice had not a moment to think about stopping herself. So again, go back here. Choose why the words used are effective in creating an atmosphere of mystery and excitement. So which ones do you think have mystery and excitement in them concerning the statement? Okay, well done, Sahil. Meda, good answer. Oh, you too. And we're looking for mystery and excitement, okay? So the rabbit hole then dipped suddenly down, so suddenly that Alice had not a moment to think about stopping herself. I would say that it's C for this particular question. And the reason is because dipped suddenly gives a sense of rapid movement, quick movement, and also of Alice not being in control of her fall. This peril makes the text exciting. And the quotations had not a moment also adds to this, as we see Alice swept into an adventure before she had time to consider it carefully. Now there is mystery as the reader doesn't know where she will actually end up. Okay, so some of the options are very close, but it just gets you to think a little bit and come to a logical conclusion. Again, we're looking for mystery and atmosphere. In this particular statement, she found herself falling down what seemed to be a very deep well. Do you think it's A, B, C, or D? Yeah, well done, Elena. Oh, well, you too. Ayan, that's a good answer. Okay, so I would say, this is a little bit of a tricky one, but I would say it's A. Because very deep gives the impression that the hole or the well is very long and it travels far beneath the earth. This kind of adds excitement and mystery as the reader does not know if Alice will survive or what she will find at the bottom of that hole or well. That's where the mystery comes from and the excitement. Okay. And we have this key statement here. She tried to look down and make out what she was coming to, but it was too dark to see anything at all. So where do you think the mystery and the excitement will be here? Okay, good, Meta. Well done. I think most of you got this one right, so well done. So it's too dark. Too dark, the statement too dark adds to an air of mystery to Alice's destination. She cannot see it and therefore is literally traveling blind. She's potentially dangerous, which also, this is potentially dangerous, which is also creates excitement for the reader. And we have 2 more questions to go. So Alice's thoughts and feelings go through many changes from the beginning of the extract to the end. What are those changes? A, B, C, or D? Alice's thoughts and feelings go through many changes from the beginning of the extract right to the end. What are those changes? A, B, C, or D? Well done, Alexandra and Awa. Good answers. Okay, well done. Meta. And Ayan as well. Okay, so a lot of you got this one already. So it's A, because Alice was bored and lazy at first, but when but then she saw a rabbit talking and looking at its watch. She was startled and started following the rabbit, which led to an amazing turn of events. And the last question of the evening, a pupil said, "This is an excellent opening for a story. It starts off calm, but then gets more dramatic and intriguing. By the end of the extract, the reader can't wait to find out more about what happens to Alice. Assuming that you agree with this statement, choose a valid reason." What would you go for if you agreed with this particular statement? Just ignore my ticks there, by the way, because when my mouse goes up and down, it sometimes ticks the statements, which are not always right. So if you agree that this is an excellent opening for a story, and it starts off calm but then gets more dramatic and intriguing, by the end of the extract, the reader can't wait to find out more about what happens to Alice. Assuming you do agree with this statement, choose the option that gives a valid reason for this. Sahil, good answer. And yes, I would also go for this one as well, which most of you have already gone for. Yes, that statement is correct because the story looks dull at first, but then starts to build up and changes dramatically. As the story goes on, it adds excitement and the reader can't wait to find out what's going to happen next. That's assuming you actually agree with this statement, okay? So, well done, everybody. And that's it for today. That's the end of the lesson. So now what I'm going to do is later on this evening, I will send an email to your parents with the next homework, which is going to be due in this Wednesday evening at 9 p.m. Please try your best, okay? And we will meet up as usual this coming Thursday evening, same time, all right? Hope you enjoyed this. I know some of you have been doing this for the first time, such as language techniques you've never touched on before, but believe me, when you're going to be going into year 7, that's probably one of the first things you'll do in school, all right? And it goes all the way from Key Stage 3 to all the way to GCSE level as well. Look after yourself. Thank you. And we'll see you on Thursday. Take care. Bye-bye.